to celebrate the opening of the Parkrose High School soccer field. As you look behind me, you see this beautiful example of a community soccer field. We have very few soccer fields in East Portland, and this is one of the most beautiful soccer fields in Portland, and we're very proud to have it at Parkrose High School and to have a beautiful soccer field for our children to play on in East Portland. So let's give a thank you for that. Quite a number of years ago, someone had a vision of taking this area of field and making it into something. I called it the bird sanctuary because that seemed to be what we had a lot of on this field. But really, it needed to be a soccer field. And so there were 3 of us who, for a couple of years, went around to the different commissioners and the mayor and kind of sold them on our idea of investing in a soccer field at Parkrose. And a couple of those people I'd like to stand up today, and that was our athletic director, Sanjay Beatty, and our soccer coach, Damian Caleb. So with the help of some of the Parks and Rec people, we went around and told our story. And because the commissioners realized that this was important to children and to the community in East Portland, they voted to give us money. And so the city of Portland, with the help of especially of Mayor Adams, Commissioner Nick Fish, who's here and going to say a few words, and also Commissioner Amanda Fritz, they helped us to get money along with the Parkrose School Board, who also put in money, and also the Portland Timbers, who put in money. So it has really been a labor of love. We have a few more people we'd like to have come up to the podium and speak to you. There's just a couple of more people I want to make sure that I point out today to you. We have other board members who saw this vision and really supported me to do this work, without whose support I could not do this work. And I want to make sure to point out some of the Parkrose School Board, some new members and members that were here during that time. So, and a member that actually has left the board to do other things, but was part of this work during that time. So I'd also like to introduce to you Guy Crawford, who was on the board. This was Guy's vision from the beginning. We also have our board chair, who's going to say a few words, Jamie Woods. We have board member, stalwart board member, Alicia Reese. And our new board member, Twee Tran. Other people that have worked really hard on this have been our architect, Dan Hess. Put your hand up, Dan. And also the person that actually helped us to build this field, who will also say a couple of words, Corey from Emmerich. Raise your hand, Corey. And there are lots of other people to thank as well. We just can't get to all of them, but I'm very happy to see great community supporters. Joe Rossi is here. Great community supporter, he and his family. And also our wonderful Director of Business Services, who kind of masterminds all of this, Mary Larson. It takes a lot of people to do this, you guys, and I feel remiss in not mentioning their names. So next up, I'd like to say for a few words would be our board chair, Jamie Woods.
We should have warned you about the geese, right?
Yeah,
Bird sanctuary.
the birds haven't gotten the news yet.
I imagine that the other people speaking are going to tell you stories about how difficult it is to manage a public and private partnership. Other folks will go ahead and fill you in on how this fills a hole that is, of city services for families east of 82nd Avenue. But I'm going to take a totally different approach. I'm just quite simply, I'm a soccer fan. I spent about 3 years up in the crow's nest, up there, announcing the games with Mr. Crawford. I was frequently the silent one because my reaction to soccer is a little impassioned, is a nice way of putting it. But from up there, you can see a lot of things going on with the game. You can go ahead and see the keepers that are standing there in the six, and it's all muddy and then dried out. Grass has been eliminated, and you can watch those little balls take these 90-degree turns, it seems like, after they hit the ground and pulling things out of there. It's just the result of the goal line standoff that took place because the football team was there on Friday. You can also see the midfielders that are running down the side trying to cross the ball in the center and then have the ball just slow down as it hit the grass because it was cut for football, not cut for soccer. There's a different height of grass you need for the game. Or it can even go ahead and get stuck in some of those 10-yard lines that are burned out in the field over there. This place needs a place that is specifically for soccer, and that's it. So I am looking forward to seeing Damian Califf, as he's done here, stretch out that width. That's 75 yards. That'll really mess with the other teams that are used to playing on a little football field. Makes it so that Damian can actually field a 4-3-3 instead of a 4-4-2 to talk a little bit inside soccer. I am looking forward to watching some of our wingers cross those balls all the way in there. As you can see, eventually they'll be able to just touch that ball and it'll go all the way across the field, which is what I'm looking forward to. And I'm also looking forward to having some of our players eventually showing up on the Timbers starting 11, if not the reserve squad is perfectly acceptable for me. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm City Commissioner Nick Fish, and I am so honored to be with you here today. And I want to start by saying that your superintendent's a very modest person. And she told you this story about going and knocking on doors in City Hall. But the truth is, she was lobbying during a time that we were cutting budgets, not adding to budgets. She was lobbying at a time when we had core priorities to fund, and some people thought that ball fields were not core priorities. Not me, but some. And I want you to know that the secret of the success of getting city funding is very, very clear. It is your terrific world-class superintendent and the team that lobbied us. Would you give her another round of applause, please? We are very proud at the city to be part of this great team of the Parkrose School District and the Timbers. It's a great team. And this field means a lot to you and to our community. But I want to share with you a personal story. Last night I took my daughter to see the Pilots play soccer at UP. And at halftime they introduced 4 young women who were great student athletes, each of whom had an Olympic medal. They were 4 players who came through and played their college ball locally, who then represented their countries in the Olympics, including the 2 Canadians that dazzled us during the Olympics, Christine Sinclair, perhaps the greatest striker in the world, and Sophie Schmidt. Each one of them excelled in the classroom, and each one of them was an All-American on the pitch. So what does this have to do with my personal story? My daughter played soccer for about 10 years, and she played with a lot of the young women who were on the UP roster. Now, I'm a soccer dad, and I always thought my daughter was the best player on the pitch, but the truth is that the most important thing was she loved soccer, and she played to her best ability. And when she was finished, she did not receive a scholarship because of her performance on the field. She received a full scholarship to the college of her choice because of her performance in the classroom. And that comes back to each of you. The vision which we have at the city and the vision of all the adults here is that every young person here has the chance to do their best in the classroom and on the field of their choice. That's the vision. And some of you may end up on the Timbers or on an Olympic roster, and others of you may spend more of your time in the classroom and doing other pursuits. But what we all share is a conviction that each of you has something special to offer our community. And today, in kicking off this field and continuing to support the young people of the Parkrose District, it is the way that my generation gets to say to your generation, we're in your corner and we are looking forward to great things. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Gallo. I'm the CEO of the Portland Timbers. Good to see a bunch of fans out here. Thank you for being here. We love being in Portland, and we particularly love to be able to give back to the community, to help kids, to help sports, to help soccer specifically. And it was about 2 years ago when we first announced this field, and so this is our first field grant, and it's really a real pleasure to see it come to life. I want to introduce a couple of colleagues of mine, some players that have come along. Krista Torres, raise your hand. She runs all of our community. The good-looking guy next to her with a crew cut is Ryan Kowalik. And Ryan's is a rookie defender, went to UP and has a really bright future, as does his teammate Chris Taylor. This is a second-year player. He's coming off as a hip surgery, but hopefully we'll see Chris back on the field, a bright young defender for us, and they'll be signing autographs momentarily when we're done. Last thing I wanted to say is this is just the start for our involvement with Parkrose. We really look forward to having some clinics and getting some more players out on the field. So this is just the beginning of a relationship, and again, we're pleased to be here. Thanks very much.
So thank you all for your patience, and just absolutely love hearing from all of our partners. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a ribbon cutting. My granddaughter Mackenzie, who's sitting right there, helped me, she's a soccer player, helped me make a Bronco ribbon. It's green and black. And we're going to cut the ribbon, and then over at the tables back here, the Timbers players that came today are going to be signing autographs. So please go and get your autographs. We have 2 cakes over there that we'd like to serve you, and also our concessions will be in full swing. And we'll also be having 2 alumni games today. So I'm really excited. I hope you'll stay for cake, stay for concessions. Parkrose Soccer is selling some Parkrose Soccer swag, so get yours today. And we hope that you'll stay and watch our inaugural game today with our Parkrose alumni. So over here, I would like to have the following people with my makeshift ribbon that we made. I'd like to see Damien and Sanjay and Guy and Commissioner Fish. I'm not exactly sure where this should go. Yes, come on over, players. Nick is going to cut the ribbon. Thank you. I'm going to stand. And it's our pleasure to inaugurate for you the Parkrose High School, City of Portland, Portland Timbers soccer field.
And the kids, can they count us down from 5?
Yes, count us down from 5, kids. Go!
5, 4,